Warm up. In your ISN, below your exit ticket from yesterday, copy and answer the following question. I want you to actually copy the question, and I want you to act, yes? Okay, so this is started on page 30. You skipped the first page. So, and her, can I use yours as an example? It's going to be awkward if it's not done. Okay, do you see how number 1, page 1, doesn't start there? It starts the next one, if I can, there we go. Starts there. Do you have an ISN? Yeah, you can buy one. Okay. Okay. Let me finish my instructions and we'll take care of you, okay? All right. I want you to write down the question and I want you to write down the diagram. Do you think I'm doing this to be mean? No. Let me tell you that. Yes. Let me tell you exactly why. These are your notes. If you went back in your notes and all you had was the answer to this, would that make any sense? That's why you have to write the question, the diagram, and then the answer. After you get that, I want you to pick up worksheets 1 through 3. Your homework is going to be 1 through 10 evens. Okay, that's 5 questions. Also, I want you to pick up a single strip of paper. You guys are going to have 4 minutes to do this. Actually, 3.5. All right, I can take care of you now. All right, I want you to stick your homework from yesterday inside your ISN, pass it to a neighbor. Your homework from yesterday, stick in your ISN, pass it to a neighbor. So, yeah, so put it inside your ISN, pass it to someone. Yeah? Well, then you have them within your notes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you to pass your homework in ISN. That's what I'm asking. No. I'm just asking you to pass both your homework and your ISN. Okay, so I would like you to grade in red. I know this is the first time I've ever asked for a red pen, so if you don't have a red pen, that's okay. You should have a red pen somewhere. Okay. So, how this is going to be graded. I'm going to grade 2 things from your ISN, and then the 8 homework problems. That gives you a total of 10 points each, right? Or 10 questions, 10 points each. So the first, and this is 1 grade, and you can write the grade on the homework. The first question is the exit ticket from yesterday. The exit ticket from yesterday read, in Greek, geometry means, and it had blank blank, it means earth measure. You do not need to have it, they do not have to have it word for word earth measure. I would accept world measure. I would accept world measurement. I would accept earth measurement. Anything like that, use your discretion is fine. Yeah. How are you going to grade it? Do you have your homework done from yesterday? All right. Just don't worry about it then. What, they didn't have it down? They didn't write it down? I didn't have it on the board. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Second one. Why is MY not a proper name for the figure? Okay. Why was MY not a proper name for the figure? It was not a proper name for the figure because M is not a point. It is a line. So you wrote line, M, Y. It doesn't even make sense. Okay. That's 2 possible points. Okay, question number 16. Name the lines that are only in plane Q. Where's plane Q? Plane Q is right here. What lines are in plane Q? Line N, line Q. Line N, line Q. There's actually a couple other answers. Does anyone have answers that are different than that? N, Q, and P. P is a point. So mark that one wrong. Which other P? Okay, actually that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Yes. That's fine. All right. How many planes are labeled in the figure? How many planes are labeled in this figure? 2. I do remember that. So what he was saying is, so I actually made a mistake with that. It says how many are labeled. 2 are labeled. But you are right. There is actually an infinite number of planes in this figure. Why is that? If you take this board right here, right, this clipboard, and let's pretend this is plane R. Okay? Would you agree that this plane and this plane are different? Yeah, this one's tilted. Okay? These are 2 different planes. Okay? So, let's take plane R and tilt it a single molecule. It's technically a different plane, right? It's technically tilted a little bit. And then we can tilt it another molecule. And you can actually tilt it, that molecule, an infinite number of times. And you'd create an infinite number of planes kind of going in a circle type thing. Okay? Kind of spinning around like this. You could also do it like going this way too. Okay. Well, but see, they never end, so it's kind of, do you see what I'm saying? It's really weird. But yeah, I see exactly what you're trying to tell me. Yes and no, right? Yeah, so there can't be a sphere, but I see exactly what you're saying. Okay. Name the plane containing points lines M and T. Where's M? M is here, T is here. What plane contains both of those lines? R. Plane R. What's if they said plane B, C, E, or something like that? Fine. Can we move on? Name a plane that is not coplanar, not on the same plane as A, B, and C. A, B, C. So what points are not on that plane? D is above it, is definitely not on there. M is below it. G is below it. P is below it. H is below it. And L is below it. Any of those is a correct. If they have one of these, it is a correct answer. Are we ready to move on? Yeah. 20. R points F, M. I'm waiting for people to be quiet. Thank you. R points F, M, G, P, coplanar. No, I would agree with you, no. But there is an argument to yes. You guys want to see the argument to yes? Okay, I need one person up here. Okay. Let's hold this clipboard here. Let's hold this clipboard just like that. Or just hold it, you can hold it just normal. Okay? Very good. Now hold this below it. Okay. We have plane R, plane P, or Q. Plane Q here. I'm going to argue that we could create a plane that looks sort of like this in between those two planes, right? Okay, that's a visualization in 3D. Let me show you what it would look like on the paper. You're done. Thank you. Round of applause. Okay. So the plane is kind of going like that, okay? I can argue either way that maybe M is in that plane. It's really hard to tell if it is or isn't. Okay, does that make sense? M might actually be in that plane, but it's a 3D model drawn 2D, so you lose the perspective. It would actually have to be in 3D for you to truly know. So, even though I doubt anyone was like yes for that reason, if they wrote yes, you can give them credit for it. So as long as they wrote yes or no, it's right. Yeah. Okay. The actual answer, I would probably say the actual answer is no, though. But I could see someone arguing that. Name the points not contained in the line shown, and the lines shown. This is a line. That's a terrible line. What? What do you mean 2 points? Yeah, there's 2 points that aren't in there. All right. Which 2 points are not highlighted red? P and A. They have to have both. What is another name for line T? What 2 points are on line T? E and C with a hat. Either of those are correct answer. Okay, when you're done, you can show it to you can give it back to your, oh, I haven't do the grading rubric. Here's the grading rubric. If they missed 1, if they missed 2, you can read it there, right? They're 10 points each. Sign on the bottom, give it back to your neighbor. If you have a grading question, oh, 1 second. If you have a grading question, I'll be more than happy to look at it, okay? When you're done, turn it in right here. All right, our TEK. What is our TEK for today? Our TEK for today is derive and use distance, slope, and midpoint formulas to verify geometric relationships, including congruence of segments. What I want you to learn today is I will be able to describe a line segment, measure of a line segment, and betweenness of points. Betweenness of points sounds really wordy. It is not a hard concept, though. All betweenness of points means that, let's say if we have A and B, if you put a point C and it's physically in between, that's the betweenness of points, okay? A point that's actually in between, physically in between. Yeah, like anywhere in the middle. All right, I am going to give you 2 minutes to copy this down on page 31 of your ISN. Okay? I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Remember to read the challenge question. The challenge question says, why is a line segment not a undefined term? Why is it considered, in other words, why is a line segment defined? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. We have to go fast today. Sorry. 6th period didn't finish, and I have to go back for them. Remember, you don't need to write the challenge question down, just these 2 bullets. $31. I'm going to pause it until time. Okay, a line segment. A line segment is a part of a line that contains blank endpoints. How many? 2. 2 endpoints. So something like this. If I draw something, do you think you should write it in your notebook? Do you think I'm drawing it because I don't know it? Right? It's to help you. All right, that would be an example of a line segment, and it's terminating on point A and on point B, or ending on point A, point B. A line segment is named by the blank endpoints and with a hat with no blank. what's the first blank going to be? 2 endpoints. And a hat with no, can anyone guess? Arrows. Good job. Okay, so if I wanted to name this line segment, it would be the 2 endpoints, A, B, and a hat with no arrows. That is how I would label that line segment. Simple enough, right? How that is read, line segment AB. My challenge question for you, why is line segment not a undefined term? Now, before you say anything, let's compare a line, which is an undefined term, compared to a line segment, which is a defined term. What's the difference between those two? One ends, one does not end. So, for something to be defined, it has to end somewhere. Okay, that's one of the parts of it. Good job. Moving on. We're going to spend a lot of time on this slide. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to write down these bullets and to draw this picture here. Your challenge question is, why can a line segment be measured but not a line? I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. Measure of a line segment. The measure of a line segment is the length between blank endpoints. 2? Yes, the 2 endpoints. So, the measure of AB, let's say you took a ruler and you physically measured it. And you physically measured it. Let's say it was 5 centimeters. You would write that as the measure of AB is or equal to 5 centimeters. Okay? So, to indicate a measurement, use the 2 endpoints, A and B, with no what? What is missing from that? The thing on top? What have I been calling that? Without the hat. Okay, so, without a hat, it is referring to the measurement. With a hat, it is referring to the line segment. One is referring to the figure, one is referring to the length of the figure. Do you see the difference between the two? Okay, measurements always have a blank. What does this have here that's different? It has an equal sign, yes, but I'm looking for something else. Starts with a U. Has units. Guys, units are so important. If I can spell it. Oh my God. Units. Units are so important. Let me explain to you why units are so important. I'm 5 away from the door. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. That means nothing to me, right? Measurements mean absolutely nothing until you give them a unit. I could be 5 pizzas away from the door, 5 filing cabinets away, 5, swim strokes away from it. It means nothing. You have to have a unit to give it meaning. I could even argue that the unit is more important than the actual answer, because without that unit, the answer means nothing. If you want to become an engineer, and if you want to do well in physics, you need to know your units inside and out. And when you get into those classes, you'll be like, oh, that's what he meant by that. Okay? 2 lines can have the same blank, but still not be identical. Let's look at this for a second. We have 2 lines. We have the measurement of AB is 5 centimeters. I'm going to tell you the measurement of CD is also 5 centimeters. They do have the same units, but it's not what I'm looking for. Length. Well, what was the vocab word we're using for length? Measure. You have the same measure, but still not be identical. Good job. You have the same measure, but still not be identical. You could have the same length and still not be identical. Okay? If 2 line segments have the same measure, they are said to be, does anyone know? It was a part of our TEAC, and it's actually somewhere on this board. It starts with a C. Congruent. They're said to be congruent. Now, I know you guys know what congruent means. What does congruent mean? Same size, same shape. Can 5 centimeters be same size, same shape? Exactly. Wait, 5 centimeters has a shape? That's giving it a shape. No. What I'm trying to say is that a measurement cannot be congruent. Measurements are numbers. Numbers do not have a shape. So you can never write the measurements of AB is congruent to 5 centimeters or inches. That makes no sense. Because 5 centimeters does not have a shape. It has a size but no shape, right? Does that make sense? You would never ever write that. And that's a big mistake people make. And then math people are like, what? What are you trying to tell me? Okay? So, 2 planes will always be congruent. You want to know why they'll always be congruent? Because planes have no length. Right? Same size, same shape. 2 planes, by definition, are infinite in size. So you have 2 infinite planes. They both have to be congruent. Does that make sense? It's a good question. I like it. All right. So, I want to go down through something for you. Let's put a big X on this because this is not right. No bueno. How this reads: the measurement of AB is equal to the measurement of BC. 5 centimeters is equal to 5 centimeters. That is what that is saying. This is saying something completely different. This is saying line segment BAB is congruent to line segment BC. Let's look at these sheets of paper. That is saying this geometric figure is congruent to this geometric figure. You're comparing figure to figure. You're comparing measurement to measurement. Okay, does that make sense? Now let's look at this really quick, a shortcut, so you can remember this. Do any of these have hats? How about these ones? Do they all have hats? Hat, 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 no hat, no hat, no hat. It is always like that. It's either all going to have hats or none of them are going to have hats. If you have them start mixing up, it's wrong. I can guarantee you it's going to be wrong. Does that make sense? Do we need to go over this anymore? No? We're good? Everyone's good? Even the girls in the back? All right. Challenge question. This one's supposed to be an easy one. Why can a line segment be measured but not a line? You can answer it. 100% correct. Good job. Do you have an infinitely large measuring stick? No. A line cannot actually be measured. So, you can never actually write one line is equal to another line. You can only say one line is congruent to another line by the formal definition. All right, we are going to do our paper strip activity. What I want you to do is have one of these strips of paper. This is going to be our line segment. If this is a line segment, what is it missing? Labels. It is missing its 2 labels. It's missing its 2 endpoint labels. We are going to label it A and B. After you label it AB, I want you to find the measurements of AB in inches. Okay? While you do that, I'm going to take attendance. Yeah, use a ruler to find the measurement. You guys can work together. It's all the same. It should all have the same measurement. The measurement of AB is 8.5 inches. Okay, I want you to write it like that. Now, I want you to take a ruler and measure 4 inches away from A. Is 4 half of 8.5? No, so you can't just fold it in half. One side's going to be a little bit larger than the other. You're going to draw a line there to know where to separate it. Our whole goal of this is we're going to take this line segment and we're going to split it into 2 line segments. Sounds like you guys are drawing swords. Okay, after you found 4 inches from A, we're trying to create two we're trying to create 2 line segments, right? So what would this be missing here if we were to cut this in half? Not 0.5. No, that's not what I'm asking. It's missing its label. This has to have a point in between in between A and B, right? And we're gonna call it C. And since we're cutting it in half, we're gonna have to label it C twice. Does that make sense? Even though it's at the same point. So we're gonna label this part C, this part C. Cut it in half when you're done doing that. Well, not in half, but 4 inches from one end. Yeah, cut it on the line. Cut it on the line, yeah. One should be a little bit bigger than the other. That would have been a disaster. You had to get a whole new strip of paper. Oh. Okay, so we cut our strip in half. We know one strip is 4 inches. We know the total length should be what? 8.5. The total measure should be 8.5. So, without using a ruler, figure out how large the measurement of CB is. Remember, we know the entire thing is 8.5, and we know this part is 4. Don't say it out loud. When you are done, take your ruler, measure it to see if you are correct. I'm going to give you guys like 2 minutes to finish this. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to find the measurement of CB, which should be the larger one, knowing that the entire thing is 8.5 inches, and we know one part of it is 4. So you should be able to figure out what this is. When you think you know what it is, measure it with your ruler to double check. Oh no. Butterfingers. Why is that? Oh, you split it in half? Okay, then you should know that both of them should be 4.25. And you get the same idea, right? Okay, so in your ISN, the answer should be 4.5 if you follow my instructions correctly. I don't really care about the answer. What I care about is what logic did you use to get 4.5? Well, Mr. Ink, I said we know the total length is 8.5, and we took away 4 of it. What's left over? 4.5. That might not have been your logic. That's how I would have done it in my head. I want you to glue this, tape this into your ISN, and then this is your exit ticket. Right, I know the measure of CB is 4.5 because 4.5 inches because, and then finish the because. Your homework is worksheet 1-3, 1 through 10 evens, and we're gonna look at it tomorrow. The whole front page evens. So your homework, the white sheet right here, you're gonna do numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, glue those into 32.